Welcome back to the Kosi channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Manchester United lost the UEFA Europa League final and they lost the chance to sign Viktor Gyokeres. Arsenal can't breathe as Manchester United won't be in the UEFA Champions League next season, and that means they won't be able to have revenues to sign Viktor Gyokeres. Arsenal are now having a free run, and a bid will be made after the Portuguese FA Cup to get Gyokeres to the carpet. We are also going to be talking about Joao Pedro. According to Fabrizio Romano, the player can leave Brighton this summer. Brighton will not stand in his way. 75 million euros will get the deal done, and Arsenal have their eyes wide open onto that position. And Charles Watts has confirmed that it is now getting closer. Thomas Partey and Arsenal are in intensive talks to get a new deal done. 1 year plus a 1 year extension is being offered to Thomas Partey, and both parties agree that Partey should be staying. So hit that button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get into the latest on Gyokerez, Joao Pedro, and Thomas Partey. Let's start off with the Viktor Gyokeres deal, because yesterday I reported that Manchester United were in the UEFA Europa League final against Tottenham, and if they had won it, that meant that they would have the element of UEFA Champions League next season, and Viktor Gyokeres wants to play in the UCL come next season. But also, most importantly, playing in the UCL would allow Manchester United to have revenues in order to sign or to do a deal like Viktor Gyokeres. Of course, when you have UEFA Champions League football, there's a lot of money that comes into your bank account. We all know that. But Manchester United lost the final, a 0-0. Mwah, I love you, Brennan Johnson. They lost a 0-0, and that sabotaged everything. First and foremost, that means that they walk away with no trophy this campaign. I mean, I was so worried about Manchester United finishing 18th, 19th, I don't know, and winning some silverware, and Arsenal don't have any trophy. It was going to be painful, because this would have been the third season that Manchester United walk away with a trophy and Arsenal walk away with nothing. But that is not even all. Manchester United would have walked away with the trophy, qualified for the Champions League without being in the top 10 positions, and then they would have stolen and they would have taken Viktor Gyokeres off Arsenal's transfer radar. Like, how bad is that? For a team that has finished in the bottom positions to qualify for the Champions League, just like Arsenal, win a trophy that Arsenal don't have, and take our main striker target, that would have been absolutely catastrophic. But it didn't happen. We thank the heavens, we thank goodness. It didn't happen. Manchester United won't be anywhere close to Europe. Not the Conference League, not Europa League, and not in the UEFA Champions League. But that is a heavy blow when it comes to their chances for this deal, because there have been two clubs that have been pushing and hunting for the signature of Viktor Gyokeres, Arsenal and Manchester United. But United's chances depended so heavily on qualifying for the UCL, and that was through winning the Europa League. Now that they don't have it, I mean, it is still possible for Viktor Gyokeres to say, I still want to play under Amorim, and I'm going to play with Manchester United, and I'm going to work with Manchester United, even if they don't have UEFA Champions League football. But the information we have is that the player has been waiting for that final to see, do Manchester United win the trophy, get UCL, and make a decision. Now that they don't have the UCL, now that they have failed, I doubt he's going to go to Manchester United. I doubt he's going to choose Manchester United. And even if he was to choose Manchester United, United without qualifying for the Champions League means that they're now working on a limited budget and limited resources. They just can't go out there and sign 65 Cunha, 65 Gyokeres, 70 million this and that. They can't do that. They can do cheap deals, maybe like Ryan Sharkey, 40 million. They can do Dilap, 30 million, and a couple of others. And this leaves Arsenal in a very strong position to sign Viktor Gyokeres. Actually, according to Abola Sport, right from Portugal, they have said that a bid from Arsenal is now expected right after the FA Cup in Portugal. So right after the final, Benfica versus Sporting Lisbon, Arsenal will send in a bid for Viktor Gyokeres, and they hope to get the deal done as quickly as possible. The deal should be advancing right after the FA Cup final, and that should be early in June. There is nothing much to say here, honestly. There is nothing much to say here. The moment Manchester United lost that final, Arsenal's chances of signing Viktor Gyokerez just became clearer, better, and stronger. But we have a massive update when it comes to Joao Pedro, and it comes in from Fabrizio Romano. So Fabrizio has said that Joao Pedro can leave Brighton this summer for 75 million euros. The player is open to a new chapter, and his camp are looking for possible opportunities. Arsenal, we know, are big admirers of Joao Pedro. This has been reported for the last 2 weeks. Now, the one thing I want to say about Joao Pedro is that for 75 million euros, he is what Arsenal need, right? And if Arsenal don't get Viktor Gyokeres, we should look there. Again, for 75 million euros, Joao Pedro is a much cheaper option for Arsenal than Benjamin Sesko. He's a much cheaper option. Benjamin Sesko is 80 million euros, 90 million euros. And that's why I've been telling you guys, I don't know why Sesko is 90 million euros. People are saying, well, there is a prospect of him being top 3 striker in the world. There is a prospect of him being the best striker in the world. You can't sell me a player for 90 million euros because in your head, he's going to be one of the best one day. I mean, yes, it works like that, but please. And Joao Pedro is a very good example of that. He's a very, very good player. Premier League proven. He's played in one of the best systems at Brighton. He can play everywhere across the forward line, and you can still get him for less than 80 million euros. So for me, this one I want to talk about Joao Pedro in depth, really. First and foremost, if Arsenal don't get Viktor Gyokeres, this is the deal we should do. This is the deal, because initially there was this feeling that Joao Pedro is going to cost 100 million euros, right? That was the feeling. And I was like, well, it's going to be very expensive, 190 million. That's what Brighton are going to be asking for. We know that Brighton want to sell their players at expensive prices, right? But if it is just 75 million euros, this reminds me of when Brighton sold McAllister for about, what, 35 or 40 million to Liverpool. This is the same kind of deal. This is a market opportunity. If Arsenal are looking to explore and exploit market opportunities, this is a market opportunity. Because Joao Pedro, this is about 60 million pounds. It's about 60 million pounds, about 65 million pounds. If you get Joao Pedro at 65 million pounds, you get Rodrigo at 65 million pounds, and maybe you get a Brian Wemo at 40 million pounds, that is expensive, really. But that is a very good attack. That is a very good, rebuild of our attack. So for me, Joao Pedro, I think he ticks a lot of boxes as a player. Pace, he's there. On the transition, he's there. In terms of, skills, 1v1, beating a player, he is there. He's going to win you penalties. He's going to score those penalties. Clinical, scores goals, and he's got a bit of, a fighter mentality in him. I don't see anything wrong with Joao Pedro. And the people who actually are skeptical about Joao Pedro, I think the one thing they will talk about is his level. And it's the same thing with Brian Wemo. We always ask ourselves a question. Is Brian Wemo or Joao Pedro at the level that Arsenal need right now, right? Are they these players that can come in and cause immediate impact, immediate effect? For me, Joao Pedro can. Maybe Brian Wemo, we've got to look a little bit deeper into it. But for Joao Pedro, with his versatility, I think he can. I think he's a Mikel Arteta player. Now, of course, in terms of pressing, I don't know whether he can, keep up with the work rate that Mikel Arteta demands. But I think he's a good player, and Arsenal should look there. For 75 million euros, if we don't get Viktor Gyokeres, we should be all over this deal. Now, Charles Watts has just confirmed that talks have intensified between Arsenal and Thomas Partey, and a new deal is in the pipeline already. Thomas Partey has told Arsenal he would love to stay at the club. Arsenal have told the player they would love to keep him. And at the moment, a consensus is expected very soon. Both parties want this to be sorted out very, very soon. And we shall get an answer on this one in no time. So that means Arsenal are not signing a second midfielder. It's going to be Partey and Zubimendi in midfield in this summer. And then we can focus on the attack now. The defense is okay. The defense is absolutely okay. We can focus on the attack, and we can now get a couple of players to join the fray. Hit the like button. Speak to you.